Okay, guys, if we are live, let's count to three. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back, everybody. And welcome to the soccer experience of the world. What are you laughing at, you idiot? Italian Football TV, okay? You cannot really be alive and ignore that we exist, not anymore,
What does
number
that
one.
even mean?
Number two, everything that is happening over there, you wanted to hear an opinion that is unbiased, unplugged, and
Unchained.
unchained
Uncensored.
and uncensored. So what you see is what you get, or what you hear is what's happening out there. So now let me do the presentation of the guest today. Let me start it from my right. Instigator Mike over here.
Ciao.
Next to him, in front of him, is Gaetano Messina, il grande presidente o comandante.
Comandante.
Okay?
I like that.
And next to him is his son, big ball breaker Marco.
They're related?
Yeah, they're related.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you know.
You know how many times?
Gaetano's rolling his eyes.
You know how many times that somebody will be like, "I've been watching your podcast for years. Did you just call him dad?"
It's gonna be like, we're just really close.
Mike calls you dad sometimes.
Oh yeah.
No, I would never. I would never
He
do
only
that.
wishes that was his father. He will be a little shorter.
I would be shorter.
Yeah.
I would hope to be at least a little bit taller if you're gonna be
I
my
will
dad.
put you to work the right way, not getting up at 11 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, Marco, take it away.
Yeah. Would one of the terms to describe Antonio be unbiased?
That's one of the terms that I would never use.
That's what he used. He said unbiased.
I am unbiased, yeah. And
Okay.
I mean,
I will pay more attention.
okay.
That's good. Guys, what a ridiculous week we had, though, honestly, in Serie A. I know that we've been saying since the beginning of the year that there's a different mentality in the league, that we don't really see those 0-0 games anymore. But it still surprises me week after week to see the mentality shift from being conservative, from being reactionary, to the style that we're seeing right now. I mean, I think about Venezia Verona. That is a game that, when I was growing up, ended 0-0. 0-0. That's it. Nobody overextended themselves. Nobody got hurt. Venezia was up 3-0 in the game. Verona came back and won the match 4-3. It's ridiculous. Did you ever see a Serie A like this before?
Never. You know why? Because everything is changing. The coaching are very proactive. They don't wait for something to happen to them to react to the game and try to change things on the fly. And the mentality that they have right now, it's not old school mentality like Mourinho. What they do, we have a spectacular number of coaches over here, especially in Serie A, that they very, very, very they challenge the team and they challenge themselves to a new way of interpret the soccer, because soccer is changing, and some of the coaches that we still have, few of them, they're old school. Thank God, some of them they've been flushed. They flushed themselves out. One of them is Conte, and hopefully another one is going to be Mourinho. Despite what you guys believe about Mourinho, I mean, you guys are big on Mourinho, but hey, he has great games from time to time. But the game that I saw last week, it was pitiful, to say the least.
I listened to Totti's interview today, and he said, yes, it's good to have a great coach. It's important to have a great coach, but you don't do anything without great players. Mm-hmm. He said Roma has good players. He has players that in a certain context could be good, could be helpful for the team, but there's no champions in the team. So Totti, your boy that you always classify as knowing everything, right? You use him as a reference, is saying, stop blaming Mourinho and look at the players.
I don't think it's interpretation. It's stop blaming Mourinho. It's interpretation. It's spend a little bit more money, and Mourinho is not really the solution for the problem that Roma has.
Well, you know what him and Terrace both agree on?
Yeah.
They said if anybody thinks that Mourinho's a problem, you're crazy.
No.
That's what they said.
Yeah, but the way the interpretation of soccer of a Mourinho's soccer right now, especially what we have seen on the pitch on the last game, an important game for Roma. You playing home, you playing the first of the almost the La Prima in Classifica at the winner of last year's championship, and all you do, you sit for 90 minutes in defense with the hope that something is going to happen, maybe a counter offensive for you to make the public, enjoying those few few chances that you're going to display in order for them to justify the amount of money that they spent to, to get to the stadium and to put up with a lousy performance, because Roma played extremely bad. I'll tell you, I will be so disappointed. And my Inter came out with 3 points. Actually, I don't think they really worked for it that hard. I mean, everything just was so fluid to them, and then they went in and they took it.
Well, okay, I do.
Inter didn't win. Roma lost the game.
Well, I would disagree with that. I was about to agree with part of it, because I do agree that Roma, they were not going to win this game. Coming into this match, Inter is too strong of a team, and to get the Inter part, they're, for me, the best team in Italy. The style that they play, everything, their depth, even their coaching, it's really the top in Italy. Roma didn't really have a chance, in my opinion, to win. I never expected Roma to win. But there's also a difference between losing a game and then losing it in the manner that they lost. Because the way that they lost, they never even went out there to play. And I think that definitely the first goal with Çalhanoğlu ruined the match for them, because you can't give away a cheap goal like that in a match that you need to be perfect and very concentrated. And I know that they were missing players, right? They're going to say they're missing Tammy Abraham, Pellegrini, Karsdorp, El Shaarawy. But still, in my opinion, you need to have a better interpretation of the game, and you need to put on a better display.
No, Marco, I think I agree with you 100%. Before I go further into this, of course, we're watching Serie A, if you don't know already, on Paramount Plus exclusively in North America. So we do have the link in the description. You get 7 days free. And guys, you got everything. Get Serie A, Coppa Italia, you got the European games, Champions League, Conference League, Europa League, and much, much more. So make sure you don't miss this opportunity.
Hit the link and subscribe.
There we go, Anto. But I do want to say, Marco, I do agree with you on the part, like, yeah, Roma weren't favorites to win or anything like that. But the way they played, they didn't look hungry. They looked uninspiring. I mean, we saw the game. We were saying, what kind of performance they put out in front of their incredible Curva, who was singing 90-plus minutes, and that's a performance you put out? I was so disappointed, and I really feel bad for all the Roma fans. I feel like I got to apologize for that performance that they did. That was totally unacceptable by Mourinho. It was defending champions. You should have the motivation. You should be breathing fire to try to fight for this.
You got that
and
right,
what
Mike.
I saw on the thing, it looked like if you put us on the field. They had no real chances.
We are better than
Maybe,
that. Speak for yourself.
But there was no heart, Anto. They lacked
no heart.
heart. And Roma, you could say maybe the past few years haven't been playing up to par, but at least they showed something. Against the Inter, they showed absolutely nothing. And there's a lot of blame to put on Mourinho for that. It's not just the players in that sense. I put Mourinho, especially in the halftime, because in the second half, nothing really changed from the first half to me.
The players are definitely not good.
Yes.
But
all right, so let's analyze the players. Okay, so they have a pretty good goalkeeper.
Rui Patricio.
Patricio is a good goalkeeper.
Starts
If
for
we look
Portugal.
in the center,
definitely screwed up, by the way, not putting a man at the first post.
Okay,
for sure.
that was a mistake. But let's analyze just in general. Okay, the goalkeeper is good. In the middle, they have Mancini, Smalling, or they're pretty good. I mean, Smalling,
Ibanez.
They're pretty good. I mean, he got unfortunate on the left side. Spinazzola would have been really good. So he's still waiting for Spinazzola. In the midfield, Veretout is not a bad player. I mean,
that's true. He's
He does his
not
job.
bad, but he's not really good.
Okay,
He's usually better than he's usually
Are you
been.
going to stick up for Cristante?
But Cristante is a national team player. I mean, he's not
We
going
gotta
to
stop with this national. We gotta drop.
He's not going to hurt you.
We gotta drop
But
national
he's not
team
going to hurt
players.
you. Maybe he's not the flash guy. I mean, is he worse than Tonali?
What are you talking about? Tonali is much better than him. Look at this guy here. Don't compare Cristante with Tonali.
You gotta
crazy.
Okay.
Anyway, so the midfielder. I mean, Pellegrini is a great player.
Yeah, he's good.
Abraham looks like he's got so much potential to become a really good. Zaniolo, he doesn't score, but he's got that potential is there. He has to
Pick his head up. That's what he's gotta do.
Yeah, sometimes he holds the ball a little bit too long. But
Because he doesn't have guys around him.
But
I feel like.
Zaniolo's got talent.
Yes, I agree.
Abraham could grow, and so that's Mourinho's got to make sure that he grows. In the midfield, you got a couple of good players.
Mkhitaryan.
Pellegrini is good.
Mkhitaryan.
Mickey is good.
He has talent.
So he's not that far away.
Yeah.
Now, if we compare him to the other team, let's compare him to Napoli, who was in first place, to AC Milan, who was in first place, to
Who is on first place? No, was.
Atalanta.
Those squads are way better.
Right. Atalanta. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Way better.
Those teams are really good. Even though Napoli now they're gonna suffer because they lost all the players that they lost. But Atalanta, Milan, Napoli, Inter, those teams are better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but they're not that far away. They need to get as close to number 4 as possible.
And they're in 5th.
I
right?
think they're in 6th now.
Sixth.
They fell.
They're in
Yeah.
sixth. Yeah, I think they fell in 6th now. Okay, you got Juventus there, but this year they're struggling.
Watch Fiorentina now.
You got Fiorentina, who's doing very well. So they got, but they're not that far away. What I'm saying is maybe they are. If Spinazzola comes back,
7th.
They technically
Roma,
in 7th?
no,
What-
technically on points they're 7th.
What's a point difference between 5th and 7th?
It is 2 points.
2 points.
So they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're there. They're
2
there.
points.
So
Fiorentina is 6, right?
let's say that in January you want to get some play. Let's say you get Spinazzola back. Let's say you get Pellegrini back. With those players, you're not that far away. Maybe you're 2-3 players away. That's all you are. And maybe if you buy one player, next year you could be there.
So you're saying everyone needs to stop complaining?
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying you need to stop complaining. You're always.
Are you putting the blame anywhere? Are you putting it on Mourinho saying that?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying he got a bad break with Spinazzola. He got a bad break with Pellegrini. Those players are good. Zaniolo has got talent. Abraham is good. Now he needs to put all of them together. He might need another month or two to put them all together. And if he buys 1 or 2 players, he's right there to be in the top 5.
Can I defend my position on Mourinho? Because I took a position on this guy here.
Would you say that his squad is not as good as, like, for example, Bologna, who they lost to?
No, he's better than Bologna.
But so then doesn't some of that fall on him?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I think
he should have done better there. Definitely. So there's a little bit blame to go with them, but the players have to perform.
Yes.
Okay, so it's
They're
not
lacking a little bit of character.
Right.
That's what I think.
more than a little bit.
Yeah, they have to perform.
There's,
of course,
there's a little bit of not
They
understanding.
need an
where you
Ibra
are.
over there to step on the field and say, hey, if I'm running, you're running.
Well, that's
End of
kinda
the
what
story.
Totti said. Totti
Let
said
me
there's no
defend my
champion.
position on Mourinho, and I'll tell you the reasons why you're wrong, okay? Let me just tell you why.
And then we'll move on.
And then we'll move on. Inter gave up on Lukaku and Hakimi, and they got, who's coaching them right now?
Inzaghi.
Inzaghi, according to all of you, it was not top of the line coach to take Inter to the next level. Now Inzaghi got Zeko and couple other minor little thing as a plug-in for the loss that they allowed to go to Chelsea and PSG. All right. So now, what I'm trying to say to you that Inter should have been struggling right now with Inzaghi, but nevertheless, Inter is playing a lot better. The fluidity of the game is much better. They look good on the field, and they're not struggling. They go and they just perform week in and week out. They are 1 point away from being first place. We're still first place, by the way. This is to try to tell you that the coach, to me, is not motivating enough the players, and that the style of Mourinho, it's not an offensive style. It's a wait and counter attack.
So I would say that I'm not going to say that you're wrong, but I don't think either of your positions. It's not one or the other. It's not binary. It's not that, because Inter's team and Roma's team is night and day between the quality and the team. The difference is not just the coach. If you gave Mourinho that Inter side,
Gaetano
he would be in the.
You're wrong. Gaetano just said it. That Roma's got great players, got quality players. They do not put it together, because everybody's got people missing. We got a lot of players missing. We miss Cager, we miss
But
Leao.
certain teams are more deep than others, and Roma's not one of those teams that's deep.
Listen, all the players that Mourinho has available to himself right now, the national team player, the vast majority of them. Okay,
but
don't give it to me.
He has no depth, though, like the other teams.
Quality. He's
He
saying
really
quality.
doesn't.
Say if
Look at Inter's
in
depth.
other words,
Inter's depth is ridiculous.
No, that's good.
If Pellegrini goes out, if Spinazzola goes out,
You have no replacements, no good replacements.
Right, that's what he's saying.
Mourinho was saying that
That
also.
is right.
I do like. We have to talk about Inter now. We'll shift from Roma to Inter. Inter, I 100% agree with you that it's unbelievable to me that this team, I would argue, has gotten better with Conte, Lukaku, and Hakimi leaving.
Yeah.
Maybe.
This team right now is better than where they were last year. They are extremely direct. The way that they attack and their one-touch passing to go to goal is beautiful to watch. It's my favorite football in Italy. I mean, the team, for me, is the best on paper. It's the best in terms of the style that they play. And Inzaghi has not made them reliant on a specific play or a specific player, even that. They look dynamic when they go forward. And this is one of the things that we're talking about is like Conte is very meticulous.
Very stiff.
It has to be
very stiff.
Lukaku, you got to be 5 yards away from Lautaro. Then this player has to go here. It's a little bit more free-flowing under Inzaghi. So I have to give credit to Inzaghi that he came in. He built off the foundation. This team is built by Conte. Let's not forget that.
Oh, yeah.
The way that they build up. This is Conte's foundation.
DNA still.
But it's not easy to make it better. And they have even Hakan Çalhanoğlu. I've never seen that guy when he was at Milan make a tackle before. I mean, now he's playing as a real midfielder that provides something going back, going forward. Their midfield is perfectly balanced. They're even getting the best out of players that some people didn't believe in. Some people said Dzeko had nothing left to give. And arguably, Dzeko's doing a brilliant job right now. So Inter, for me, again, just keeps reiterating, we're going to see they will win the Scudetto because they are the best team. The depth, the coach, maybe not the coach, the depth, the style, and the players are just better than everyone else.
That's fair.
Let's hope that you're wrong because I think AC Milan is a better. The game of AC Milan has got more fluidity.
You think Milan is better than Inter?
Yes, by far.
Ooh,
And Atalanta is
style?
actually Atalanta is actually even better.
Atalanta, I'll give you that
is actually
Atalanta
better
style.
than Inter,
It could,
yes.
but Inter's is a little bit more solid defensively because they're more compact and they don't risk as much, but they still get the attack that's just almost as good.
The thing that Inter has, Atalanta doesn't, is the mentality in winning now. They tasted the Scudetto. They're the defending champs. So it's almost like Inzaghi isn't really needed because they know how to win already. So I feel like that's what they're carrying on. What I do like of this Inter compared to last season is how versatile they are. They don't just rely on Lukaku holding the ball, put his back there, wait for Lautaro to run. You see goals come from different angles, from the midfield, from the attack, from the wing backs. It's like a well-oiled machine for the most part. And I was surprised how well Inzaghi in such a short amount of time, because I had a lot of question marks for him.
We all did.
But he's looking very solid. We're like, Inzaghi, could he do it? I don't know. He's never really won the Scudetto. I don't know.
But you were one of the biggest
critics.
You had a strong opinion on if Inzaghi could do good at Inter.
Right, but this team is the son of Conte. Okay, he's the guy that put that team there, and the style. I mean, he built this team. Now, Inzaghi came in, he gave it that freedom, and I think the players, they like that freedom, that to go and not being so restricted on the runs and where you got to be at the same point. So once they pass the midfield, I think they have a little bit more freedom to be creative. And some of the creativity, it needs to be that. Otherwise, the players are not. And I think that it's been shown now, especially on the left side. I mean, where
Perisic
Perisic on the left side. I mean, I see now him taking people on.
He transformed.
He transformed. Yeah. It looks like the player that it was at Bayern. I mean, he had a
Davies.
No,
Perisic. The
Bayern,
player he was
Bayern Munich.
Okay.
Yeah, that he took people and nice crosses. He does that now all the time. So sometimes the player needs to feel that, and that could be something that Inzaghi brought to this team. But I want to see tomorrow against Real Madrid. I want to see Inter and their character and how they're going to play the game.
That's good.
I would say that this Inter side feels to me, it's been a couple of years now that they're in Champions League, right? Ever since Spalletti brought them back to Champions League. This team has more experience now. I feel like they're a little bit more mature in the style that they play. Also with the players gaining significant experience because a lot of these guys, it was their first Champions League games they've ever played. So I think that now they're also the team, besides just the coach and the mentality that he brings, I think the team is just more mature to take on a team in Champions League.
Yeah.
So I think that they're gonna affront this game in a strong manner. And I think that this Inter, besides the game against Real Madrid, because they're already qualified for the next round, I think this Inter has maybe the most potential out of all the Italian teams to go the furthest in Champions League. And now I know Champions League, it matters about luck. I know we hate luck. We hate saying the word luck here, But Champions League, for example, you draw Liverpool, you're not going to go. You draw Bayern Munich. Not saying we have the strength to do that. Of course, anything could happen. But if you get the right draw, I think that Inter probably has the best chance to go furthest in Champions League.
Possibly.
Is there any argument?
No, you're right. It's luck. It's luck.
No.
The
But
draws
Is
are
there any
luck.
argument about Inter's the
No,
team that
in
has
the
most
past,
chances?
the criticism has been when Lazio was in the cups, sometimes they didn't show up. The team didn't show up. And that was my criticism about Inzaghi.
They got slapped around.
Yeah.
But
They
now
got- not
it's
just by
it's
poorly.
different.
Inzaghi lost. He lost against the average team very poorly. Even being up on the first round,
Right.
he got slapped around.
Yeah.
Not one
So
time.
now
many,
I
many,
want to
many
see,
times.
okay, tomorrow, of course, you're playing against Real Madrid. There's not that much you have to say to the players. They're going to be very motivated to play. But I want to see how the character of the team.
Listen, Ancelotti.
Does anyone disagree with that? With what I said? That Inter is the strongest Italian
I
team
don't
that
know
go the
about
furthest
that.
in
I don't think I
Champions
will say Atalanta's got better.
No, I agree with you.
I
Okay.
think Atalanta's got
How come?
more of a DNA for to take it to go further into the Champions.
Tell me
Champions
why.
League, because of the system that Gasperini plays. Gasperini is very difficult to beat. I mean, he can win impossible games for you. And for Gasperini, the fattore campo does not exist. Whether you're playing home or you're playing away, the system is that one. They don't care. They don't go anywhere. They don't play home and they defend it and they wait for something to happen. Gasperini's game è un gioco propositivo. I'm going to explain to you in English what does that mean. We are taking the game to you. We're not waiting for you to give us something to play around the system. Now, we're going to impose our system and our game to you. Let's see what you have. That's it.
Would you say that sometimes also hurts Atalanta though, because sometimes they overexpose themselves in a competition like Champions League?
Yeah, but yes, but that at the same time, there are teams that they respect the Gasperini attitude, because they say this guy here is not coming here to lay down and to wait and see.
For sure, we agree on that.
So Guardiola is one of the biggest estimator of Gasperini. So Guardiola it's technically almost the same mentality. Guardiola takes over the game from the very beginning, and they said, hey, we're going to run the scheme, we're going to run the ball, we're going to get possession, and we're going to try to press them as much as we can, regardless of the 1-0, 2-0, or 3-0. So this is our game, and that's what we're going to stick on. No try to save here and there.
One thing I would say about Gasperini is he has to be able to finish the game and close the game, because in big games that he was ahead,
he lost.
He
Yeah.
loses the lead.
At
He
the
still
end-
goes to attack.
at the end, he wasn't able to finish the game. So he has to learn how to me, he has to close those games. Certain games, at one point, you're playing against Liverpool and you win it, you have to close it. That's it. And he hasn't been able to do that.
Mike, what did you think about Atalanta? Big win against Napoli.
Wow. This was a crazy game. We were watching over here with Anto, of course. And I actually predicted Atalanta to win this game. But Napoli had a depleted side, we must say. So Spalletti didn't really he had to change his formation. He had to play with a 3-man back line because it was forced. He had 3 or 4 starters out. But Atalanta's just reaffirming, I think, the mistakes we said and proving us wrong and how strong they are. Regardless if they're playing home and away, like Anto says, these guys just attack. They're not scared of anything. Even if they concede a goal or two, they're still gonna be they're still gonna attack. That's their mentality. That's what Gasperini has instilled in them. And for Napoli, it's been a tough past couple of weeks, I'd say, in terms of the adversities they faced. They lost a couple. They dropped points the past few matches. They lost some players. But every team's going to go through that. But personally, I do think Atalanta deserved that match overall. I believe they were the stronger. I think they were the stronger side. I know people can disagree with me.
Keep the focus on Atalanta for a second, and then we'll go to Napoli.
Yeah.
I think for Atalanta, the thing, I had them winning, and I wasn't really a doubt. I thought that Atalanta, I really respect the mentality that they had. And I think that the difference this year with Atalanta, number one, they're heating up. They're getting into a better moment, as Napoli are going to struggle for a little while, which is normal. I think that the difference is that Atalanta had Pasalic, Muriel, and Ilicic on the bench until 70th minute. This is finally the year that I feel the depth that they have in their squad. They were pressing Napoli, especially in the first half, and Napoli was really struggling to cope with it. They almost suffocate you when they come at you and they get you into the back. And if you don't have a strong midfielder, which I felt like Napoli was missing there, Fabian Ruiz, who was not available, to break that line,
and
you almost get killed because Atalanta loves that pressure. And they're showing that not only can they maintain that pressure throughout a match, they have more maturity in the back because Demiral has been a fantastic player. And they have the depth that they could still throw in 3 players, again, like I say, Pasalic, Muriel, Ilicic, that could all be starters and that can all still change a match until the end of the game. Last thing that I'll say about Atalanta, that run from Demiral, what other team in the world has a center back making
a striker's
a run that breaks the line like that and then the finish? Unbelievable. Anything on Atalanta?
Yeah, on Atalanta, as I always said, I like the Gasperini style. Gasperini is the closest one that resembles Sacchi, the way he plays, except for the defensive, the back line of defense. Sacchi always had the sweeper, and Gasperini's got he's got his own system going on. But the first half, I'll give it to you. It was Atalanta. Atalanta's, they were running the play. They were directing or the orchestra everywhere. There was just a baton. Everything was fluid on their way. But Napoli, to me, did not deserve to lose. A tie will never be a steal, given the fact that Napoli, for me, he played a better second half, much better than the first half. And if you look at the quality of the chances that Napoli had, I would say that nobody would be crying right now if Napoli would have taken the 2-2, and sometimes even with a little luck, the word that we don't like, even winning the game. I'm going to go that far to say it.
I don't know about
Again, that takes what Gaetano was saying before, the Gasperini, from time to time, when he's in a situation to close down the game or to take the win home, he doesn't do it, but he did it against Inter, and I'll tip my hat to him. But I took a 2-2. My prediction was 2-2. It was a tie, and I was hoping to be right. But but I said, hey, but what do you want? Don't you want AC Milan to be on first place? Well, in this particular case, I want Atalanta not to win, and I'm gonna leave it at that. So, but Napoli did not deserve to lose.
I mean, Napoli was clearly they were out with Koulibaly, who was their leader in defense. Juan Jesus was a disaster. By the way, I saw a 4-man back line. I didn't see a 3 like you.
They started with 3.
I didn't notice that. Anyway, they were without Koulibaly. They were without Fabian Ruiz. They were out without Anguissa. They were without Osimhen, and they were out with Spalletti. Spalletti also was not there. So they were missing a lot of guys, and it's normal. It's not normal for a team to miss so many key players and then to win. You got to give respect to Atalanta. They're one of the best teams. And it's true that Napoli, they, especially towards the end of the first half, Atalanta were happy that the halftime was going to end because Napoli almost scored a second goal over there. And when the second half started, Dries Mertens scored a fantastic goal, caught them sleeping, went up 2-1. But then, again, they lacked, number one, the biggest mistake. The assistant, Spalletti's assistant, had a nightmare of a match.
Oh my gosh!
Number one, he kicked the ball before it went out. He grabbed the ball before. I never seen it in my life.
He did it unintentionally. I mean, the ball was coming out.
It doesn't matter if you're doing unintentionally.
But it's still in
You're
play.
You're in Serie A, you grab the ball.
I know.
Before it
It's still in
out.
play.
No, he
That's
didn't
crazy.
grab it, Marco. He kicked it a little bit.
You can't do that.
I didn't say
You
grab
can't
with
do
his hands. He went to get the ball before the ball went out. And then, again, this could be Spalletti telling him, once he took Dries Mertens out, that killed the game. Murdered the game
He was our best
for
player.
Napoli. Then they had, and you could see even Mertens was pissed off. Like, you're taking me out? He was the only guy going forward. Petagna is not a striker that's going to create you anything. Petagna is a guy who, okay, maybe on a set piece, he'll get his head onto it. He's a big boy. He drags some players. But he's not a creative player, and they would have needed a little bit of creativity if you want to win the game.
But Marco, his timing was wrong. But what do you think? What do you think was directing? Who do you think was directing the assistant?
Spalletti.
There you go. So again,
just-
those are the kind of situation. For me, the timing of the subs were wrong. Number one,
For sure.
Would have done that maybe 5 minutes later. Would have been a different story. And the fact that Spalletti wants to take the positive, results back home facing Atalanta, for them a tie was like a positive outcome. But nevertheless, again I blame more Spalletti than his assistant, because Spalletti makes the phone call and said, hey, Started with the change, just put this and this inside and take. You forgot that Insigne was not playing either, Marco.
Yeah,
there you
I
go.
knew I was forgetting somebody else.
Insigne
So,
was out, that's right.
Thanks.
So I didn't see the game, and later on I'll explain why I didn't see the game. But I am disappointed at Spalletti big time, because you do not get a red card on the game before. You know that you have all these players out, okay, and the team needs you to be there on the sideline to direct them, and you get a red card in a critical situation like that. And the next two games, you're going to have Empoli and you're going to have AC Milan. I think they're going to be lucky if they get 3 points out of those two games. And I don't even know if they're going to get 3 points. Okay, what happens if you get 1 point in the next two games? Okay, this was very crucial. Not only was a crucial game, but for mentally, because of all the players that were out, if you could have gotten a tie out of this game, it would have been a win for them.
Yeah.
It would have been a big win. I mean, you're talking about half of the team, it was out. Yeah. So this game was crucial to get a point and for him to get a point. And can you imagine if he was on the side of that of the team on the bench and he was there and they would have gotten a tie? I think this would help him definitely the next game against Empoli, but the big game against AC Milan.
Sure. No, it's fair.
Yeah.
I think that we also have Napoli, because they've been so amazing, because they started the season so amazing, have set certain expectations for themselves. Nobody expected them. Most people didn't have Napoli in the top four of where they would have seen the season. But because they started so well and people started saying, oh, they're Scudetto, they could win the Scudetto, I think we put certain expectations. So it almost seems like you can't slip up anymore, right? Because the league is so competitive. So it is, we're critical also because the expectations of where they match, which could also be a little bit unfair from our side as well. But I think it's a fair conversation. Even the same thing, I remember, I was thinking about this as well when watching the Juventus game. Morata was nearly, I think Morata was minutes away from getting sent off for getting a red card in a match that I said, they were playing against Genoa with 1-0 up. I said, how stupid you got to be. The guy was fighting with the player. He got a yellow card already, and he was still screaming at the referee and at the center back. I said, you're 1-0 up. You want to put your team down to 10 men. You're not even playing good, so don't even act like, I got to act macho. No, it was so ridiculous. So I think sometimes maybe this season is so hard, so competitive, anything could happen. In the final few minutes of games, we had Fiorentina last week who was up in the 86th minute and then ended up losing a game to Empoli. That the tensions are so high, and I feel like a little bit they've some of the guys have lost their heads a little bit.
No, yeah, no, Marco, I do agree, and I actually do want to say something. All this Napoli talk is reminding me something that we actually have a clip from CBS, and of course this week is Napoli. Mark almost spoiled it last week.
I know,
but we made you guys wait for this one.
They got mad that we weren't putting the Napoli one, but we said just wait. Everybody's is coming.
We said just wait, but guys, we're gonna insert the Napoli clip right now.
Sultry, seductive, Naples makes you fall in love. In the shadow of Mount Vesuvius, against the sparkling blue of the Gulf, the city of the sun burns with desire. A film set with 1,000 looks. The narrative here is always a love story. The main protagonist, it's gut chill. The theatrics play out at the Stadio, where the hand of God blessed the city, causing a tectonic shift that forever changed the plot for the Giazzurri. Explosively passionate and independent, their story entices like the siren's song, echoing through the city streets. Where the Partenope live out their intense love and immeasurable pain of their own mythology with every touch of the ball. Napoli, O heart of this heart, you were the first love.
The Why We Love series, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I want to make a thread. I'm going to make a thread on it one day just to put all of them. But they did such a good job respecting the city and respecting the culture.
The only thing I don't like about those clips is you think there's gonna be a movie coming to it. It
sure.
like teases you and it's like, where's the rest?
Maybe
It
they
looks
will.
like a movie trailer.
Maybe they will.
Maybe
That's
they
a-
will.
that's a-
But
that's
it's
a
a
good
great
idea.
piece, regardless, guys. Link in the description. 7 days free, Paramount Plus to check everything Serie A and everything else calcio. Link below.
You know how you know it's good? You know it's good because I even saw that clip getting shared by Napoli journalists in Napoli. And you know if Napoli is posting something from American TV, then it has to be exceptional. Anyway,
And how much does it cost?
Well,
Subscribe.
$4.99.
$4.99.
if you do it
guys.
annually, you get a nice
Alright, so,
discount, right?
Guys, I'll give you. You can beat the sum. You cannot beat it. If you buy a cup of coffee, a Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and all this other thing, it costs you $5.
More.
Definitely
More than
than
If you get a
$5.
latte, it's $8 and change.
You know what I
almost
just
$9.
discovered? You get an app from one of those burger places. I won't say the name. It costs you $1 the coffee, and you get a big coffee, and it's very, very good coffee. So get the coffee for $1, and the other $4 you put another 50 cents. You can subscribe to Paramount Plus.
You weren't here, but we went on a whole rant about how everybody has overcomplicated coffee these days.
Oh yeah.
We did a rant because I was telling them I went to get coffee and I was like, oh, just take a medium black coffee, and the girl's like, yeah, what else? And I was like, no, nothing. She's like, oh my
What?
god, that was so easy. I was like, you don't have to overcomplicate coffee.
Right,
She's like,
right.
the amount of things that I have to remember to do in this coffee.
I know.
And I got mine in 2 seconds.
Milk, no sugar. That's all I say.
No,
They're looking at me, and the person before me,
Yeah.
you know, it's like the coffee. It's got 10 words.
Yeah.
Macchiato,
Alla
latte,
grande
latte
macchiato, skim,
grande,
skim, caramel,
with
Almond
cinnamon,
sweet
almond,
and low
yeah,
sugar.
yeah.
The last time I went to
With
get
a
some,
splash of
yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's
Um,
ridiculous.
The last time I went to get something to eat, it was like $20-something. I was like, Paisa, that's like 4 months of Paramount Plus right there. I walked right out of the door.
$20?
Over $20.
Money.
Like 4 months of all
But he's
the
not saying
amazing
coffee, he's
stuff.
just saying in
no,
general.
not coffee. Just like regular
What
food.
do you go
Just like,
spending in Greek
I'll tell you
restaurant?
after. But regardless, guys, Paramount Plus, check it out.
Let's talk about your Milan, who also played that day. 2-0 win over Salernitana. Again, you're missing a lot of players. Salernitana is a B team. I mean, I think that we understand that. I mean, their matches that they play, that I use your famous line. They have one foot in Serie B and 1 foot on a banana peel.
He's undervaluing Milan's work, Anto. That's
Juventus
what it
play
looks like.
Salernitana. Don't let him instigate. Juventus play Salernitana. I said the same exact thing. Everybody that plays Salernitana, I say the same thing. But Milan, you had to go out there. You had to do the job. The match was over after 18 minutes because you scored 2 goals. Kessie and Salamakers. I would say that maybe you need to work on finishing a game off a little bit more because you kind of leave a match open, and I think you had a lot of opportunities to score goals, but you didn't always capitalize. Is that a concern?
Yeah. Well, plenty of chance with Brahim the Dream. He will have put a couple more away. He had 2-3 times one-on-one with the goalie. Messi has had a very good couple other good chances. And hey, listen, we didn't have we had Ibra sitting on the bench. We didn't have Rebic, but we're not taking any excuses. It's not an excuse when you play Salernitana for not winning the game, you know, with a large score. So, but nevertheless, it's a win for us. It's a 2-0, and everybody got the chance. And Pioli was able to rotate a bunch of players that they rarely play. And I think he's looking forward to the next game, which is the Liverpool, as we all know. And they try to do some time management with the energy and the players that they're going to be starting the game against Liverpool.
Leao
Unfortunately,
will be out.
I know. On a game like that, Leao should have been sat. And I would have used even maybe Maldini's kid or somebody else. But nevertheless, Leao is an important part of the attacking squad of AC Milan. So, and we're not going to be complaining. You're going to just put the best player that you have available for yourself against Liverpool and hope for the best.
How do you feel about this match? Obviously, I mean, this is a bigger talking point than the match against Salernitana. How do you feel today, if these people are watching today, you're playing against Liverpool, a match that's very, very important, to be able to be a team that qualifies for Champions League? How do you feel about your possibilities?
Well, listen, everybody, you're the first. You guys wrote off AC Milan from the very beginning because we were on Nel Girone della Morte, on the group of death. And again, I don't take things like that lightly. In the AC Milan DNA, it's not to undervalue any game, but at the same time, they're not they're not taking anybody lightly, so they go over there to win the game. So that's what I think the mentality should be, and I think we can still beat Liverpool. I mean, even without all the players that are available to ourselves right now, I think AC Milan should go over there and give 110%, because even if we don't make it all the way to the semi or to the quarter, if we beat Liverpool, we have plenty of money coming into the treasury of AC Milan, and that we can use those money to improve the team.
So I'll read you the group as it stands right now. Liverpool obviously are already through. They have 0 to play for because they don't even have to play for first place. A lot of the teams that are already qualified, they're still playing for first place. Liverpool have 15 points. Porto are in second with 5 points. Milan are in third with 4 points. And Atletico Madrid are in fourth with 4 points. So obviously, the fate doesn't only rest in your hands. If I just go based off of my math, if Porto and Atletico would tie, they would each be on 6 and 5. And if Milan will win, you would be in second place.
And if AC Milan ties and Porto and Atletico they tie,
If you tie, you're out.
Yeah, you
Way
can't.
out.
You have to win.
Yeah,
you have to
tie. If
win.
you tie,
regardless.
you have to win.
What about if? I see what you're saying.
I believe if Porto or Atletico win, you could be out as well.
No, they definitely
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Porto's got 5 points.
Yeah. So Porto cannot win.
So if Porto loses, then Atletico goes to 7 points. If Porto ties, they go.
So if
to 7 points.
Atletico and AC Milan they win, they both win, then who's out? AC Milan I think has got better.
I'm just
I
checking
guess
your
the goal differential.
difference. So Atletico, they did 2-1. They won 2-1 in Milano, but you won 1-0 in Atletico. So if it does still go off of goal difference, then you would not be in.
That's strange.
Because they scored 2 away goals.
But regardless, the first focus is Milan has to win that game. And Klopp actually said he's going to do rotation. He officially announced in the press conference.
course,
I actually look at it.
The season's too crazy.
So he's doing a rotation for that game.
You have
so
to.
a little bit more help for Milan. Hopefully they can get the job done, get the 3 points.
Milan's
and then whatever
also missing.
happens for the rest, First get the job done there, and then
I think we
the
have a
stuff
good.
that's out of your hands.
I think we have a chance. I
happened?
thought for sure Milan was out, and I still don't think that the odds are in your favor. But definitely hope because
Still
you
a decent
beat
chance.
Atletico.
Decent
It would be
chance.
beautiful if we could get 4 teams out of the Champions League. We
Group
haven't had
stage,
this in I think a decade at least. It's been,
What time is going to be the game? 2:45.
Yeah.
Oh
Very
boy, are we gonna? You guys are gonna be here?
Yeah, we'll do a live stream.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna quit my job, so I'm gonna have to find
It's
some
a
bunch of
huge
excuses.
game, Anto.
Yeah, I'm gonna just.
So
come
we
up
hope.
with-
We hope. What other game we got to talk about?
The Juventus Genoa.
Yeah, we'll talk about
game.
Juventus Genoa real quick. Genoa is another team that they are in. They are as close to Serie B as Serie B clubs as well. I mean, I feel bad for Shevchenko because they got him at the worst possible time. This schedule, we put out the schedule last time, and I'm going to try to find it now. It is ridiculous how hard his schedule was when they got him. The team is not good. He's not even Shevchenko. You can't even blame him because the team was bad even from the start. They play against Juventus. They had 0 shots on target, 0 attempts. They had 29% possession. They did absolutely not. One of the worst teams I've seen in Serie A. I mean, them and Salernitana are truly bad. Just bad.
So I have the schedule when Shevchenko was appointed Genoa manager. His first game was Genoa, Roma, Udinese versus Genoa, then Milan, then playing the derby, della Lanterna, Juventus, Lazio, and Atalanta. So all those games are pretty much setting him up for disaster. Yeah. He has no luck. Absolutely no luck with that schedule.
They just better realize. I just hope that when they signed him, they told him like, all right, we know how crazy the schedule is. We're not going to count what's happening right here.
If I was him, put that in the contract. Put that in the contract.
The thing is that if the team goes to Serie B, what does Shevchenko do?
Well, he'll be sacked way before that.
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's not gonna get to that point.
The thing is now they have new American owners. It could be different. If this was with Preziosi, I bet you he would sack him by the time that he's done with those matches. Anyway, we digress. We'll talk about Juventus for a second. Dybala scored his 5th of the season. Dybala was finally, Allegri actually changed formations. He finally did a 4-2-3-1, which is something that we're all kind of asking for a little while. Dybala was everywhere on the pitch. At least it was finally nice to see him have a little bit of freedom in that trequartista role. I think that his biggest thing is he needs to stay healthy, because if this kid could stay healthy, he's the added guy for Juventus in their attack, and they could really go on and have a much better season I think a lot depends on Dybala, but I do like that Allegri has put him as the center of the play and understood he's the smartest player that he has. He's one of the smartest players in Serie A and just his technical ability. He needs to consistently do this day in and day out, and there's many matches that he could have multiple goals and multiple assists that sometimes he's missing a little bit. I think Cuadrado, obviously he scored off the corner kick. Respect to him, by the way. He said he didn't mean to. He said, I was not trying to score. He said, I just kicked the ball really hard, and I was looking for first post.
Anto would never admit that.
You would be the last one to admit it.
If it went straight in, you'd be like, oh, I meant to shoot it in straight from the corner.
Everything that I do, I mean.
There we go.
So, Cuadrado, but even besides that, Cuadrado, the amount of touches that he has on the ball is something incredible to see. He's one of the most important players for Juventus. Also, you saw Locatelli's position was a little bit different. He was getting a little bit more involved. It's hard to really grab anything because you're playing against Genoa. I would say Morata is, wow. I mean, the guy is really struggling right now. He is not in a good moment because it's not even about goals.
He could have scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
Forget about
for a forward is important to
Sirigu
score.
made a very good saves against Morata. I gotta be
Sirigu,
honest with you.
he
You
turned
guys
out prime
are
Buffon.
piling up on Morata. So I think, on my opinion, a way you've been too hard on Morata.
That game could have ended 5-0.
Because Morata, it's you find him every time that Dybala will pass the ball. That time that he just pushed the ball like that with his flat foot, and Sirigu made a spectacular save. I mean, the guy's there. He's been trying. So his attitude, his body language, sometimes is a little too nervous. You were saying before that he was begging for a second yellow card and being thrown out, and all of this Allegri scolding him as soon as he comes out of the field. It's just the guy's been trying so hard. The fact that Juventus they play with a lot of nerves right now is because of their standing is really a
he's
reflection.
got 3 goals this season.
Yeah, but Marco, whose fault is that? It's the
partly on
midfielder.
him.
It is
But
partly-
even the midfield.
But he's had chances. It's not like he hasn't had chances.
No, it's true.
And my problem, even besides the goals, he also doesn't do a good job in building into the attack. Like he loses the ball a lot of times, and he looks like he's just truly lacking in so much confidence. It's not every team. We said this. Go down the list. Go down from Inter, Milan, Atalanta, Napoli, even Fiorentina. All have a top-class number 9. Like a number 9 who's going to score goals. Even if they don't get service, they figure out a way to score goals. Morata's just not that guy. He's not.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me.
What is that?
That meme?
I don't know.
You're not that guy. You're not that guy. Come on. You definitely know it.
What,
You
what
just
is
don't
this?
read more.
What is it?
I know what you're trying
Too
to
many
do.
video games
You're
for
gonna
this
try to call my friend Joe Barone. You want Vlahovic. I don't think it's gonna happen. You're not gonna get Vlahovic. Believe me, Joe. Anybody but Juventus. Okay? You're just listening to me.
Anyway, we're talking about the team.
Too late now.
Kulusevski too. Kulusevski is another guy who, he has talent. He's shown that he has talent. He had talent at Parma. But even over here, I mean, there's something that goes wrong with some of these guys.
Juve need
at
a
Juventus.
rebrand. They got to change their logo again.
Well, with Juventus, you have a lot of pressure, and you need to score. And if you don't score, then you don't belong in Juventus. And so right now, the forwards they're not that confident to score goals. I'm glad for Dybala. He could have scored 3 goals, 3 easy goals. I mean, the last couple of games, there was a lot of chance that they could have scored. But right now, that's the way it is. The important thing is that they're winning, and eventually, like Allegri said, the goals will come.
They also, if you look at their next 3 games, this is a big opportunity for Juventus. I think this is a crucial part to the season. I know it sounds weird to say crucial part of the season already, but these next 3 games, they've got Venezia, Bologna, and Cagliari, I believe. That should be a spot where if they pick up 9 points, they would put serious pressure on
4.
some of the 6 teams that are ahead of them that are probably not going to pick up the points. This is crucial. If Juventus fail to get 9 points from this, then there are serious question marks around the team.
Now it comes, they could see it and they could smell it that they're getting close to the 4th place. If they get 9 points in the next 3 games, they're going to be close.
I don't know what they put on the coffee for you, Paisan. I don't think your coffee was spiked up. I don't think they can smell it. I think you need to wake up and smell the coffee, not the coffee that Mike made you. Actually, you made the coffee for him with no cream. That's right. He made your coffee with no cream. I saw it. That's why you're talking like that.
I didn't do anything.
But the coffee was not that good. I mean,
you know that we don't have that much control.
But
over
no,
it.
you do. You made it too watery for him. If you put
but how
more,
do I?
what do? You put more powder on and you press it.
So if you're so good at it, why don't you ever do it?
Oh,
I'm showing you what to
I never
do.
seen you make one coffee.
And
That is true.
especially
ask
for
everybody to make one.
especially
complains a
for
lot,
dad.
though.
For dad, you're supposed to make a good coffee. That's why he's talking like that, okay? Because he's still not smelling
That's
the
why he's
coffee.
talking like
Fair
that. What does that mean?
Some other games. You want to say something?
No,
Fiorentina, let's go for Fiorentina.
He's talking about smelling coffee. I want to smell the bolognese soon.
Oh
because I
boy!
wanna
Oh,
go
who's
eat.
making bolognese?
I gotta go eat. Come on.
Man. Allora, so la Fiorentina, parliamo di Fiorentina. Let's go.
Fiorentina won against Bologna. Again, Vlahovic goal, 13 goals in Serie A. We'll just touch about the rest of the games because there's not one I think that you got to focus on. Fiorentina's doing amazing. I mean, you look at their position on the table. They were at 5th at one point. Are they still in 5th now after the games?
They're tied with Juve.
When they won their game, they were in 5th place.
6th place.
They're 6th place, tied. Tied on points with Juventus. So technically, you could say in fifth
Okay.
place.
So
tied
what
for 5th.
a season that they're having. This is the best season since 2016 for Fiorentina. It's been really good. They picked up a lot of points. Again, Bologna is a tricky team because Bologna coming into this was 8th place. They were just beating Roma. Mihailovic's men are very tough, especially in Bologna. But Fiorentina proved that they have good players. They really do. Nico Gonzalez, I really like. The player is strong. But it all comes from Italiano. And his philosophy, his style has changed his team around.
It goes back to what we were saying about the style of playing and the young coaches that we have in Italy right now. The Serie A, guys, it's a prolific ground for some of the best coaches that they want to try to take away from us. Okay, we have so many talents over here, and now Europe, they're realizing they're starting to call them in Turkey. They're starting to call them all over the places. We need to keep those coaches over here in Italy, and I think Italiano been in Italy. It's the way to go.
I never thought about that.
It's the way to go, guys. Italiano is doing a great job with Fiorentina. Joe, if we have a chance, we like to do have an interview with him. We like to pick his brain a little bit to find out
What would you ask him? What's your first question?
Well, the first question is, what did you do differently than Iachini to get the same squad running at 8-cylinder? Number one. Number two, what kind of a motivation besides the scheme that you present during the training section, you get your player to execute, and number three,
when are you gonna join AC Milan?
Well, no. I would love him, but for now we're just gonna stick with what we have, and you don't change your Mike. Don't say anything because I know you're ready to jump. We're not changing things that works. You don't change what works. Okay.
And speaking of Fiorentina, we got Lucas Torreira following us now. So maybe he's following the podcast too.
Hey, Lucas.
We remember him at Sampdoria. He played at Sampdoria. Then he went to England, and now he's back at Fiorentina. And he's a pivotal role for this Fiorentina side. It looks like he won a starting spot. So.
Maybe it will be Lucas
Hola,
Torreira
Lucas.
and Joe Baron connecting with the Italiano. So we're gonna pick his brain. Okay, Joe. It's official right now.
Spezia tied 2-2 with Sassuolo. They were actually up 2-0 in that match, and Sassuolo came back and got a tie. Sassuolo too. There was a hilarious tweet. This guy Jake on Twitter, Milan fan, big Milan fan. He said, "Sassuolo are the Robin Hood of Serie A. They steal points from the rich teams, and they give points to the poor."
I like that.
Hilarious.
I like that.
We actually made
I like it.
We made a graphic based off of what he said because it's true. So they beat Juventus, they beat Milan, they tied Napoli, and then they lost to Torino, lost to Udinese, lost to Empoli, tied Genoa, tied Cagliari, tied Sampdoria, and tied Spezia.
They're the team that perfect resonates like in the locker room. Okay, we don't need no motivation. We're playing Juventus. Go out there and take some points. But then
It's
with
so
other
bad.
teams, they
It's
kind
so
of
bad.
they make it equal though.
That's why you don't achieve your goals when you need to get motivated in those little matches.
De Zerbi was probably a better coach and motivating in the smaller matches.
Dionisi is still
Dionisi's
young.
good, but yeah, no,
Let's give him some time.
I'm not saying anything. But similar style football though. Overall,
I like
still fun to
Dionisi.
watch.
I like him.
Lazio won 3-1 over Sampdoria. Sampdoria on the verge of sacking Terrace, but it's not going to happen yet because I think I don't remember Stankovic. They wanted Stankovic, but he's not available at the moment. Stella
Red
Rosso,
Star.
Stella Rosso doesn't want to let him go right now, so he's not going to be able to go. And Lazio getting back to winning ways is important for them. Milinkovic Savic, I think, was it this game? Yeah, he scored an unbelievable goal.
And Immobile also scored.
Immobile scored.
Yeah.
It's important for them. And Sarri, after the match, he had a quote. You'll like this. He said, we review so much film that I feel more like a TV director than a coach.
Yeah, and what all the notes that he takes, forget about it, the review guy only
He'll
knows.
be a producer,
He's
right?
a copywriter too.
Yeah, oh yeah. I don't know. You were very big on Sarri. Just say something. Come on.
Just say something.
You were sorry for the carnival. For Halloween.
Well, those are the Rome has been disappointed between Mourinho and Sarri, where he's got the leading scorer of the Campionato. He has one of the best midfielders around. I mean, he should be doing much better than that. But
His defense sucks.
yeah, I was big on Lazio. Not so much on Sarri, but I believe that he had the players to do better than what he's doing.
I was speaking to some of my friends that are Lazio fans from Lazio, and they were saying to me that they feel like, and they said regardless of, not being prisoners of the moment, not being, mad at what they're doing, he said since the start, he never felt that Sarri fit Lazio. He said that the style and what comes at Lazio is very different than what Sarri is good for. He said Sarri at Napoli was one thing. It's a different mentality. It's a different pressure. He thinks that at Lazio, the fan base and just the culture of Lazio will not mix with Sarri. This is how he feels. He said, regardless of what happens, I don't think that those two mix together.
I agree 1000%. Inzaghi, I think Inzaghi he had them all electrified. His style of coaching, his intensity. This Sarri over there with a little piece of whatever he's getting on his mouth, and then this stupid notebook. It's not what Rome needs. Mourinho on the other hand is he jumps like a shrimp on the sideline. He's starting to tantalize, like a Salib. He's starting to tantalize the refs and all the stuff. So he's starting to blame on the ref. So he draws attention away from the field and the players. But this Sarri, it's just nothing. It's like a soup without salt.
Unseasoned, right?
Unseasoned.
Bland.
It's like you drinking water.
So he was telling me, he said that at Lazio, the feeling with Inzaghi was that Inzaghi, he got more. What the team was, Inzaghi was able to get more out of the team than what they really were. He made them better than where they were. While Sarri, on the other hand, he doesn't think that they could get there. So we'll have to see if it's true. There have been some hiccups. You know what Mourinho said, by the way, in his press conference? He said that you journalists make a lot less money because your job is easy. He said we make more money than you because our job is hard.
But that's stupid. You see, if you're a classy guy, you don't talk like that, because number one, the journalists are there to criticize and to just present what's going on, the situation, to the general public, and to give a picture of what the hell is going on over here. And Mourinho, all he has to do is just denigrate them and say, hey, you bunch of lowlife, that's why you're making no money. So that maybe this telling them that I am overpaid, not because I'm smarter than you, but because that's the nature of the business. So
I'd love for you to have a conversation with
Are you a classy guy?
I am. Listen to this guy here. Class. Prima classe.
First class.
40 class. First class.
All right, so
Thank you, Mike.
you could teach him
Sometime.
You could teach him some
I
stuff.
wish he would come over here. We will have a session with him. We'll sit him over here and then we'll talk to him.
I would love to see what he says.
Sometime.
When?
I don't know, when he sleeps.
One more game and then we'll get to your story over here. Venezia Hellas Verona was unbelievable. I preach over here, never turn off a Serie A game. And I'll be honest with you, I did on this one. Venezia was up 3-0.
You made a big mistake.
I changed. I put Spezia on. I was so disappointed in myself, because then the next moment that I checked, 3-3, Verona came back and tied it 3-3. Giovanni Simeone scored a brilliant goal. And then they ended up winning the match 4-3 with, again, an even better Giovanni Simeone goal. What a Serie A we are having. This game, I mean, I looked at myself, 7 goals in this match. We've had 11 games this season with 6 or more goals in them. 11 games had either 6, 7, or 8 goals in them. Absolutely ridiculous.
I think the average is about 4 goals a game.
Mike,
Juventus might be tearing that average
count all
down
the
a
goals
little
of
bit.
Serie A, Mike.
Definitely
Can you
is.
do it? Count
Yeah, they're
all.
40 over 40 goals, about
Wow.
43, 44
That's
goals.
a lot. That's a lot.
For this week.
That's unbelievable.
So it's 10 games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so it's about
unbelievable.
a little bit over 4 goals a game.
The
How
mentality
does
is really
it-
changing.
So you grew up with Serie A. How different is this?
Oh my God!
It was 0, 0, 0, 0,
To
0,
get 40
0,
goals,
right.
you needed 10 games.
Well, we had 10 games.
Marco.
10 rounds.
10 rounds.
10 rounds.
10 rounds. What do you think specifically is the difference, though? Like, what are you noticing?
Well, there's been an evolution, I think, of culture with soccer, and especially in Italy. These new coaches, the aggressiveness. Even before, when you went and played a game away, all 11 players stayed behind.
Mm-hmm.
You just needed a point. That's all you paid for. Every away game, you wanted a point, and you were happy with that. So there were a lot of 0-0 games. Now, I think the mentality and that, I think that Sacchi brought this mentality. You go away, hey, we're going to win. We go away to win. But he had the players. He had the Flying Dutchman. He had 3 Flying Dutchmen plus some of the best Italian players that play with that team. So they were able to. But the mentality, I think, has got a lot to do with it. When you go away and you pressure the other team and you don't let them out and you get a chance to score a goal, all of a sudden things change.
Marco, I gotta add one thing to Gaetano, and then you go ahead. This has started, this whole thing, this whole mentality that Gaetano is saying, has started when the format of the Italian soccer that we played in Europe, it gives the win at the 3 points. So because a lot of people that said, hey, listen, but
it's still different from 1995 to today. It's very different. We're seeing a shift even from now to 10 years ago. When I watched the game 10 years ago, it's different. Like a Serie A match, like Venezia Verona was not a game that would ever end 3-3. 10 years ago when I would watch it, 4-3. It would never have. So what's changed in that span? Besides, you guys are going very far back. I get that. But I'm saying, what's changed from a couple of years ago to today? Is it the Italian national team that's Mancini has tried to push us forward? Is it that we haven't seen as much success and we said, all right, maybe we need to learn that we need to change our ways?
I think another thing that has happened, never an Italian coach went to coach outside of Italy. They all stayed in Italy. Foreign coaches came to Italy, but Italian coaches never went out. I think that in the last 10 years, in the last 5 years, the Italian coaches have started to go out.
Interesting.
And they bring a different culture.
Philosophy,
And a different philosophy from the other leagues.
Can we name some
And
of the coaches, Gaetano?
some of them, they come back. Well, Mancini was one of them. Then he came back to Italy.
Ranieri would be one.
Ranieri, Conte.
Zola was there
Ancelotti.
too.
Ancelotti's been all over the world. Trapattoni. I mean, there were a lot of coaches that decided, hey, and that was, I think that was a good
idea.
Now, I'll ask you as a purist, you followed. How long have you followed calcio? 50 years?
Yeah.
55 years. Now, as a purist, as a person that grew up with an Italian team that defended first, that was very catenaccio, how do you feel about that?
No, I didn't like it. I hated the 0-0 games. There were just too many games. And I remember the national team. I remember the national team from 1970. I remember from that World Cup. And then going forward. Before that, when I was 6-7 years old, I remember the Champions League games for Inter that they won a couple of Champions League. But with the national team, it was the first thing. It was never to get a goal. So it was defending. You never seen any. The best thing that could have happened to Italy was if we were losing 1-0. If in the first 10 minutes we were losing 1-0, now you had to attack, and then you see great games. But if there were no goals in the first 20,
you fall
30,
asleep
40
watching
minutes,
a game.
You will fall. Yeah.
Do you think the art of defending has been lost a little bit in these past years, though?
Well, I don't know if it's been lost. I think that some of these teams that they play now, they have some of the coaches. I mean, I know they don't want to get a goal, so they put their team in a way that they don't want to go. But they have enough talent now and enough players that can. These guys that run 100 miles an hour, that they can show you, hey, we're going to defend well, but we're going to attack well too. And they go up and down, which before it was not like that. I mean, the players now, they are so physical
Yeah,
and
the
they're so fast.
physicality.
I mean, from 50 years ago, sometimes I look a little bit of the game in 1970, Italy against Brazil. It's like they're walking on the field.
True.
I mean, I see players, they get the ball 30 yards away from the goal. They stop. They
take their coffee. They take a little nap.
They turn around.
And
the defender is still
waiting for them, not challenging them.
Now, I mean, you see some of these games.
They're breathing on you like bulldogs. They're breathing on your neck.
And midfield, there's a high pressure. Midfield. I mean, now they come and pressure on your own half. They come and pressure. They pressure the fullback. And some of these teams, they can do it for
full court press. Almost 90 minutes.
Atalanta does it for 90 minutes. I can't believe it.
So for you, the same question that I was asking him. As a purist, do you not like that there's such high scoring games, or you feel the same way?
I like it, but don't. I do not believe that the Italian Serie A has lost the defensive mentality, because again, we've seen day in and day out that when the score is very important, when the game you want to take the game home, the defensive, the catenaccio, not the pure catenaccio from the way we intended many years ago, it comes back into play, because Italy knows how to play defense. Not just the Italian national team. In Italy, we know how to play defense.
But somebody seeing these scores in these games, 40 goals and a thing, will say, no, they don't know how to play defense.
Well, they don't, because everybody wants the 3 points. And so what they do from time to time, they say, okay, you know what? Screw this. We're going to try to go for the 3 points, because we cannot afford 1 point for us. I'd rather to lose the game at some point than going out. It's either the 3 points or nothing. Yeah.
I think the big thing is that we've had the shift in, I think we thought it was smarter to just conserve a lead, and now we think it's even more of a risk to defend the lead than it is anything, and we need to attack and go for that next goal. Certain teams, obviously not everyone. Last things, guys, before the end of the podcast, you've been wearing this scarf, and it's hot in here. It's kind of warm in here. What is this scarf that you're wearing?
What is
this?
Why are you wearing?
Actually, I think this scarf is cool.
Oh, it's cool.
What is it? Portland Timbers.
And I decided this past weekend to go see my dear friend Giovanni Savarese, who's the coach of Portland Timbers, who played in the Western Final against Salt Lake City. And the game was played in Portland. So I took a plane ride, a 6-hour plane ride to go see just for a day and a half, but it was an incredible weekend. I was fortunate enough to experience the passion of the fans from Portland. I got there 3 hours before the game. There was already a line to get in. Some people had slept there the night before to be first.
Slept there?
They slept outside in the mist, in the rain. But for the people from Portland, it says if they see somebody walking around with an umbrella, they know that they're not from Portland.
They know the tourists, right?
Yeah, they're not. So
they'd be staring at
because
us.
they have a general admission behind the goal. They are unbelievable. They get there 2 hours before the game and they start singing and they got songs for almost every minute of the games, and some of the songs I couldn't believe that they were singing Bella Ciao, and I'm in Portland.
Nice.
They were singing.
You know what's Bella Ciao?
No, I never heard
Bella
of
ciao,
Bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao.
Stamattina mi sono svegliato e mi voglio divertire.
Now I know it.
You got that right.
And so the amazing thing was that it was a great game. Portland won. I really enjoyed some of Giovanni played with the 4-2-3-1, and he had a couple of kids in the middle of the field. Moreno, who's 21 years old from Colombia. Man, this kid, he was going up and down. Now, fast as lightning. He took a shot from about 20-25 yards. Beautiful, scored a goal. They had this other kid, Paredes. He's from Paraguay. And he played more or less my position, so my eyes were on him. This guy he won some slight tackles in midfield. He would get the ball. He would look to the right, to the left, nice passes. He would make the last pass. I mean, really, the defense played good. The goalkeeper, he made an unbelievable save. Even though most of the game was controlled by Portland, the goalkeeper, they only were dangerous once. And then most of the time, Portland was in control of the game. But this the stadium is unbelievable. It's only 25,000. They're sold out every game. You feel like you're right there. It's like those small English stadiums. You feel you're right there touching the players. But the best thing that happened to me was that when the game was over, I hear somebody tapping on my back, and who it is? It's Giovanni Savarese. And he asked me and he goes, come on. And I went inside the field, and I was celebrating with the players and with the family, because the only ones allowed inside the field. Actually, I was walking on the
turf.
on the pitch.
Yeah, the pitch.
It was only the family members, and I actually got to hold the cup, the Western Fans. So you have the picture. If you could show the picture. So I was in heaven. I mean, that was the best gift that he could got me, was to get inside, and I actually shook the hands of most of the players. Chara, what a player this kid is. Chara is what a midfielder. He's an offensive midfielder, well, the nicest guy. After the game, you know, he was thanking me for going there to watch the game. And then we went out with Giovanni, and the next morning I went to, actually he had everybody practice the next day, which was yesterday. The game was Saturday, so he had everybody there. So I went, I walked around, and from far away I saw all the players and stuff like that. And it was really an experience I will never forget.
We were talking about coaches before, Gaetano.
And one last thing, you know, you think of Portland and you say, well, Portland, that's
what I was going to bring up.
They are in Portland. The passion that these people have, it's unbelievable. The way they sing from an hour before the game until the game is over, it's unbelievable. Every time they score a goal, they cut the timber.
Oh my God! I saw that.
Yeah, they have
tree
the
trunk.
wood. I have
Huge.
If you want to, so they give it to the player that scores the goal. The player that scores the goal.
Funny.
Yeah, he gets that. So
they should be putting Mike's head on the top of the timber before they cut it.
That would kill me.
And then the facility that they have there, I mean, it is unbelievable. And since Giovanni was there, he got there in 2018, the first year. He won the Western Championship. He went to the final.
Wow.
He made the playoffs. This year he won the Western Championship, and next Saturday is the final.
Oh,
Didn't they also win MLS's back? Didn't they win the one in the bubble?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
He
That
won
was
that.
in Orlando.
I think he
You're
won
right.
that
Yeah.
one too.
You're
Yeah, he won that one.
guys.
You would never have expected. I would never have expected for you to. Like, somebody else told me that this is in Portland, I would have thought, all right, come on. But the fact that you said that, and what's funny is that we posted the picture, and people were so mad because they were there. There was some people that were saying, "Oh my God, why didn't you guys tell us before?" Because we posted it the next day that they were in Portland. They said they wanted to come and say hello.
Oh, wow.
So there's some people from Portland.
By the way,
Nice.
Giovanni invited you anytime you want to go. So we told them.
Trip.
I told them that maybe in the springtime, maybe
We should go.
we could take a nice trip over there. And you can really feel the excitement that they have, that these fans have. So we might be taking a trip next spring.
So we hope, by the way, Saturday they're going to play NYCFC. So New York is where we live. None of us really watch MLS. We support our friend Giovanni.
I watch it from time to time. Speak for yourself. Once in a while, I watch it.
So we're not going for NYCFC. I know there's some people that say, guys, you're from New York. You were posting about Portland. We go for our friend. And he's actually from New York. He's from Brooklyn. So we're going for I don't know if anyone on NYCFC is actually from New York. It's probably not. But anyway.
I wanted to say something about Giovanni. First of all, I had the privilege to scrimmage with him several times with Gaetano too in Utrecht. And this guy is a genius. He's got countless wins with the Cosmos. Everywhere he goes, he's a winner. So again, I want to put Giovanni now on a discussion with the Serie A. This is one of the youngest talent that we have that is part of our patrimony. It's what we have. This is what we own. I think I wanted to see Giovanni.
You don't own Giovanni.
Yes, I do. I wanted to see Giovanni. I wanted to see Giovanni taking a Serie A team, or maybe starting as an assistant for the first year, and maybe taking a team like Genoa, like Sampdoria, like some of those teams, because I think he can do very, very, very well.
You reminded me of something that since you brought it up, and a lot of the people brought it up to Giovanni, and a lot of the media brought it up to Giovanni. He was missing the best player, Blanco. He was hurt. And Asprilla, who was one of the top players, he got a red card the week before, so he was out. So he was missing two of the top players. And when they asked him, oh, my God, you're missing, he goes, no. We are working. We are here to work. As of tomorrow, we're going to start working as hard as we can. And whoever I put in the field is going to step up and is going to do the job. Mm-hmm. And that's what the mentality is.
That's great.
I will say
winning mentality. That's a winning mentality.
I will say Giovanni, he really embodies a winner. Like to see somebody close. There's been very few people in my life that I meet, and he gave me one of my first jobs. I was coaching with him in Howard Beach as a teenager, and I would see the way that he does everything and the way that he treats people. I've never been more struck by somebody like him. His mentality, the way that he thinks, also the respect that he has for everybody. He gave me very good advice, too, when he heard that I was going to go on CBS. He said things little things, small things that are so simple that we forget sometimes, and showing respect and speaking in a positive manner and putting out into the world good energy, because that's what you get back. And he says it a lot. His speeches, if you just go on, even if you don't like MLS, listen to how he speaks. You could go on YouTube and watch it. I've watched it a couple times. I love the way he speaks. Never down, never, oh my God, we're so unlucky that we have this. Because that's not what our winner does.
I used to follow Giovanni when he was a commentator on ESPN.
Me too.
All
Spanish.
All the time. Yes, it was in Spanish, and I was able to. I used to follow. I mean, I had to really stay behind because my Spanish is not great, but I understand.
What can you say in Spanish?
Oh, toros. Cabisco toros.
Capisco.
No, entiendo toros. Look at this guy here. What can you say in Spanish?
Entiendo todos.
Entiendo. Anyway, look at this guy.
Hola. Oh, we got to know for Torreira too.
Oh boy. Anyway.
Coño.
Anyway, guys, anything else that we remembered?
Yeah, I think Giovanni, we want you back over here because we wanna pick your brain again.
With the trophy. He'll come with the
yes.
trophy.
Oh, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. That'll be spectacular.
Guys, as always, thank you everybody for watching. Hope you had a good time. Nice long podcast today. Incredible Serie A. Make sure, thank you to Paramount, our premium sponsors. The link is in the top of the description. As always, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon.
Ciao, guys.
Goodbye.
Forza Serie A.